Looks like we are live. Be just a second, just knocking out the last of it, making sure everything is up and going as it should be. All right. While I get ready for that, I'm just going to get my MLS up so we can start talking about some of this as well. There we go. So today was a pretty awesome day. I was able to help some friends that I met in the investing space sell a property that was no longer a fit for their needs. And after some lengthy extensions, is the best way to put it, we were able to finally get there and get it closed. So I was thankful for that, and I know that my sellers are more thankful. It was really cool because one of the sellers was on the phone today, and they were just kind of sharing, some gratitude for it. And it wasn't the easiest situation that somebody could deal with. It's okay though. That's why people call me. It's, to help solve problems. And I think that's ultimately really what I enjoy doing is, when someone contacts me and they need to put on a thinking cap and, really dive in to see what solutions, what options there might be for their challenge. I do. I enjoy it. Man, it's fun. Especially whenever you're able to create solutions or come up with ideas that can help someone in a way that they just didn't think that was possible. So I'll give you another example. As I'm sure you know, if you followed me for any length of time, um, we do private money lending, which means that I'll go out and I'll use my capital. Sometimes I'll partner with other people and I'll use their capital and I'll provide loans for people. It's called asset-based lending. And asset-based loans, man, I love them because it gives people a chance they might not normally have to invest in real estate. So, for example, let's say that you want to flip a house and you found this slam dunk of a deal. Maybe you don't have perfect credit. And over the years, you've started working on it and you've started to understand the importance of becoming bankable. You're just not there yet, but you have this one deal that it's amazing. And then you reach out and you contact a hard money lender and you realize they've got credit score requirements, they've got down payment requirements and everything else, and they've got restrictions around how you're going to get that down payment. And then you would contact somebody like me who focuses on the asset. So what I do is I'll actually look at the asset, I'll look at the numbers. How does it shape up? And is it going to be a good deal? So number one, I'll look for the after repair value. What does that after repair value look like for the property? So let's say, for example, that that's going to be a $300,000 property once you're done with it, right? I follow the Mayo formula, which is the maximum allowable offer formula. And I also do that in my lending guidelines. So effectively, I will loan up to 80% of the purchase price for a first time borrower, and I'll cover up to 100% of the remodel costs. Let's say that you found that property and we'll go with Mayo right quick, right? 300,000, 210 is going to be where you're at before you make your offer after you deduct your repairs. So let's say that your repairs are going to be another $80,000. And then you go out. So 210 minus 80 is going to be 130. All right. Well, you go over here, you offer $130,000. Lo and behold, the seller takes it. You've got a gross profit margin on this deal of $90,000. Problem is, you don't have anybody that'll loan you the money. So you go to an asset-based lender like myself. And I would explain to you that the down payment is a non-negotiable. You're going to pay your down payment, your processing fees, the fees at closing to make this loan work. And I'll still fund up to 100% of your rehab. So I'm going to require a few documents from you, right? Those documents are going to be very basic. I'm going to need to see your LLC. I'm going to need to see, number one, some some capital, right? I'm going to need to see some money in the bank somewhere that actually can pay your interest note, right? The monthly interest only payment that you're going to be paying. And then where are you sourcing your down payment? Let's say, for example, you don't have that money, right? Because again, 130,000, 20% of that's going to be $26,000. You're going to need $26,000 plus the other fees to come into the deal. So let's just say 35,000 when it's all said and done, maybe 40, whatever it looks like. It's okay for you to go get a partner on the deal, a capital partner to provide that down payment. So whenever you do that, now you've got a loan from me for the purchase price, and we're going to front you that first draw on the remodel. And that's important because it allows you to go out there and get your contractor working, and that's big because, well, I don't know any contractors that work for free. You go out here, you have your contractor working. Now the contractor progresses that project to a certain point. And now they say, hey, I need some more money. And then you would contact me and you would send me photos, videos, and you would say, hey, this is how far they've done. This is what they've done according to the scope of work. We're ready for the next draw. And then I would review it. If I agree, fantastic. If I don't agree, then I'll have an independent inspector come out there and check the job site. We're going to get a progress report of how things look. Once we have that settled out, here comes your next draw, and then so forth and so on. The goal is to get to the point to where now the property is on the market and it's selling. You've priced it well, the market's moving, everything's clicking, now you're able to sell. You pay back your capital partner plus the profit and everything else. Let's say that maybe your first deal you net out after commissions and closing costs and fees and everything else. Let's say that you net out, say, $60,000. Not a bad day's work when you didn't bring any money to the table. Now, after that, let's say that you might have given another 15,000, something like that, up to the person that brought the money, which for them, that was a 30% return on their money, over the course of, say less than 6 months. That's pretty good return. All right. Now, what I'd like for anybody that is watching this to understand is that those kind of deals can happen, right? That's not some buy my course for $10,000 and I'll show you the secret sauce. No, I actually just did. If you don't follow what I've just shared with you, go back and watch it again and then watch it again, right? And then Google if you still have questions, right? Like I explained there was someone that had reached out to me that wanted to, get me to teach them about private money. And I told them that, quite frankly, you can go to whenever I'm doing like a seminar, a workshop, a webinar, or come meet me at any of these local meetups that I go to, and I'll speak openly and freely because I've blocked off my schedule to discuss those things. The challenge is whenever you need one-to-one time, my schedule doesn't allow me to just go over here and block that off for everybody that requests it. So to be fair to my schedule, especially, I charge for that time. And I do tell people there are plenty of resources to go out there and take up the mantle yourself and put in the work to educate yourself. So, all that to say, it's possible. You have to, number one, want it bad enough, but number two, be curious enough to do some internet searching, right? To ask the questions, find out what terms you might not be familiar with. If somebody says, "Oh, I'm at 12 and 3, I'm at 12 and 5," okay, then I would just Google, what does that mean when a lender says they are at 12 and 3 or 12 and 5? And more than likely, you can find some answers. So, I'm not saying this to be antagonistic towards anyone. I hope that whomever watches this is able to take away some value from what I'm sharing on this, without getting just too deep and just drawn into everything about that. I hope that you can tell that it can be done. Number one, you find the deal. All right. And number two, you go out and you find your capital partners, the people that will come in and will help you. And then also another thing that I enjoy about being a private money lender is that I also partner in a sense with my borrowers so that they're protected through the process. I don't release all of their rehab money up front. No, because what if the contractor took advantage of your trust? I know an investor that borrowed 70, well, they had the money. They went to go get a rehab done. The contractor said, "Hey, look, it's going to be $70,000. Go ahead and cut the check. I'll be over there next week to start." Mm. That investor trusted the contractor. And I'm not saying that you can't trust anyone. It's just that that was um, that was a mistake that I don't think they have made sense or intend on making again because the contractor never showed up. Right. So I enjoy participating with my borrowers and giving them the guidance along that way of this is why we do draws on your loan. This is why it's locked up until we unlock it. Think of a video game achievement. As that happens, as you progress through the level, right, you get your little power up box, and that power up just happens to be money to continue your project. Great. Anyway, I'm not going to stay on and drone on with that. What I am going to do, though, I'm going to refresh my feed, see if anybody has any questions. And if not, I'm just going to do a quick little market update and I'm going to keep it moving. All right. So I'm just going to do the screen share right quick. There we go. It's a lot of bright. Let's, there we go. Let's fix that a little bit. Okay. So how are things looking in Northwest Louisiana? So let's see what Bossier City. Actually, let's start with Shreveport. So in Shreveport, just single family. We're not going to include anything else. We have 854 active. Well, take it to 765. 765 active listings. Let me bring up a spreadsheet so that I can work on that. So we're active 765. And in the last 30 days, we've had 176 close. Do I keep like hitting my scroll lock? What the? All right. Yeah, that's straightforward. There's Bossier. So I'm going to go ahead and put out the numbers on Bossier while we're at it. And we'll dive into it. Wow. In Bossier City, there's only 100. Oh, there's 122 that closed. See how many are active. 253. That is that is something. So now we're going to go in, we're going to say 765, and divide that at the 176. So Shreveport only has in their single family inventory, okay, 4.3 months worth of supply. Bossier City, two. 2.07 if you want to be specific. However, wow, that's strong. Here's the thing that I want you to be aware of is popular as the interest rate debate really is right now. For Bossier City, I only have 253 active listings. And in the last 30 days, 122 have sold. Wow. So let's say, for example, that the 10-year treasury goes down and interest rates go down. How many people do you think would go into the Bossier market or Shreveport market for that matter? It's still like just at 4 months of supply, which is, still a seller's market. How many people do you think are waiting for rates to go down before they take a jump? They want to jump in the market all at the same time. Let's say, for example, 175. Well, let's just say 200 people. 200 more people decide to buy in Shreveport or Bossier, right? Because we can just take a total look at the overall Shreveport Bossier Metro, right? That's 1,018 between the two cities. And then there was 298 that have sold. We go in, we run that 3.4, 3.4 months. So let's pose a different question. Let's say that everything's business as usual. Say that we still have 300 buyers per month. We still have, on average, 1,000 listings in Shreveport, Bossier. Then the rates dip. What do you think is going to happen if the 300 becomes 500? And now we go from 3.4 months of supply to two. Could that give buyers or sellers more confidence to increase their prices? Because it's going to come down to simple supply and demand. I think that's uh, I think that's very interesting. I did not know the inventory was that low for Shreveport Bossier. I hadn't looked in a couple of weeks. I haven't really run that. Could be a good time to be ready to sell. But also, this is where I tell people, don't fall for the, buy the house, date the rate propaganda. What I would encourage you to do is decide for yourself if for some reason interest rates did not drop, could you fade the note? Could you make your monthly payments for the next 30 years to get into the house for the price that you want today? If so, it may be worth exploring to go over there and buy. And should rates drop, then you're in a good position to refinance. Because I can tell you this, when you're in a position to refinance, that means that you're not competing for the houses. You've already secured your house. Now you're just working to secure a better rate. So keep that in mind if you're a buyer looking. And if you're a seller looking to sell in Shreveport Bossier, maybe we should have a conversation because while I'm looking for properties that need fixing, right? That's my specialty. That's my niche. I want fixer uppers. We enjoy getting rental properties, putting work into them, putting a good tenant in place. Yeah. we really should start to focus on preparing more flips for the market. That's I did not expect that to be the number. Yeah. All right. Well, with that being said, I'm not going to just stay on here all night and do nothing. So if you yeah, if you need anything, if you have any questions about the market, whether it be here or Southwest Florida, I'm more than happy to have a conversation about those. And yeah, if you're looking to sell a property that needs some work, or by chance, if you happen to, um, you know, want to discuss selling the property, I'm happy to have that discussion as well. So, everybody, I hope that you have a fantastic evening, and I will see you in the next week or three. Have a great night, everybody.